Hey guys, it's Nate, aka TheFutAccountant. Welcome back to the channel. Ultimate Team of the Season is starting to sound interesting as the leakers are kind of starting to hype up this final week of TOTS, as it sounds like we may have the biggest set of players in packs that we've had out of all of Team of the Season, including some old special cards. Yeah, what does that mean? We're going to talk about that and potentially the return of End of an Era and Flashback SBCs. Honestly, those are SBCs that we would love to see right now on this game. Plus, if I could ever get logged in to this game, we could look at why 93 rated cards are moving up in price a lot on the market for fake Evo leaks. We're going to talk about that, but it could be a good place to buy some cards and invest in trade at the moment. And it's guaranteed TOTS Pack Wednesday. So let's get into things. If you're excited for the video, drop a thumbs up on it. And of course, subscribe if you are new. Now, as we finally do get into the menus here, I want to touch on yesterday's content, starting with the new update that just dropped. You may have noticed the confetti flying when you are in the main menu of FC25 logging in. That's a part of the new update. And of course, the 3 gameplay changes with goalkeepers and rushing out. That is definitely something that I noticed. It is not as easy to bring your goalkeeper out and try to stop a one-on-one with an attacker. I think that's a good thing for the game. I didn't really notice the passing changes, especially because a lot of the players that I'm using in the midfield, and especially in the midfield, have a lot of passing play styles already. So I didn't necessarily notice that update change there, but I did notice the header change. I feel like I was scoring more headers off of corners, contested headers, not like unrealistic ones, but it just felt like headers were better and actually were maybe a way that you could actually score a goal. So other than that, I don't think it was a really big change to the gameplay. And yesterday wasn't really a big day of content in general. There was a couple things that we need to discuss. Firstly, our daily player SBC was Marius Whirl. And honestly, this is a 9-goal and gang center defensive mid with very interesting playstyle pluses. He's got finesse, pinged, and the intercept. Not terrible, I guess, and he's super duper cheap. If that card interests you, only 25,000 coins. Absolutely, go ahead and do that one. Now, a part of yesterday's content as well, we had new upgrade packs as we expect on a Tuesday. Guys, these are becoming my favorite upgrade packs that EA have dropped in a while. The 85 combo upgrades, 85 times 5 combos. I got 2 Team of the Seasons out of these in a week where most of the upgrade packs are not giving out many TOTS cards. Like, of the 4 that I did, I got 2 Team of the Seasons. That's what I mean by saying that. I think these are a must-do each and every day. It's a simple Team of the Season or Team of the Week, and then an 84-rated squad. You get some higher-rated fodder. Those 84s aren't in the equation, so I was getting lots of 88s, 89s, 90s. Even the, of course, very needed 86 rateds were coming out of these packs pretty consistently. So I'm a big fan of those. I think I might start saving my packs, honestly. The way this week has been super bad. I've spent coins on store packs just to try to hit the Messi, Ronaldo, the PSG cards. I'm thinking right now, and as we talk about more Ultimate TOTS stuff today, I might be on the pack save grind just for the next couple of days. Now, we had another player pick that was dropped yesterday too, and that was expected, right? TOTS trade-in Tuesday. We had the 92 plus any TOTS trade-in. They upped it from a 91 to a 92. Was it any better? Some may say yes, depending on their pack luck. Some may say no. For me, it was not better, but that is there. If you do have a lot of extra Team of the Seasons, you can at least try to get something out of that. Now, I want to talk about TOTS prices really quick, as we mentioned that SBC, which guarantees a Team of the Season player pick, but also makes you turn in 4 Team of the Seasons. TOTS cards are 15,000 coins on the market selling, so they have kind of crept up. If you have Team of the Season cards and you want the quick flip, you can sell these today after the content drop, because we're going to have more requirements on TOTS cards, I do believe. But once we get to Division Rivals rewards tomorrow early, TOTS cards are going to drop again, and they're going to become a great investment. Guys, 11, 12,000 coins, TOTS cards, especially the 91, the 92 rateds, the 93 4s and 5s, you can get invested in those too. Maybe pay a couple extra 1,000 coins for those since they're higher rated, but that's going to be one of the last times potentially, unless EA do something crazy with tradable TOTS supply, one of the best times and last times to get invested in Team of the Seasons for the long haul. We've been talking about it the past couple of days. I do think that is a very good investment going forward out of Team of the Season, but it needs to happen this week, in my opinion. Now, let's go to Evos, where we had a new center attacking mid Evo. This was the Evo that was leaked. We talked about it in yesterday's video. Max 92, max 98 passing and dribbling, and 87 physical cam Evo. My opinion on this is I don't think it's worth 150,000 coins. I think it should be a little bit less than that, particularly because of the shooting and the passing boosts not being as high as maybe they should be, and especially this not giving a 5-star weak foot boost. You do get the 5-star skills, and maybe the card you're putting into this already has a 5-star weak foot, so it's okay for you. But like Maradona, if I really wanted to play this card at Cam, would I be okay with 91 passing and only those 2 passing regular play styles? Personally, I would say no to that. I think the stat needs to be a little bit higher. And I do think the play styles of this evolution is good. It gives the quick step plus, it gives the incisive plus, but for Maradona, he already has 2 playstyle pluses, so he just gets the quick step first. If you're not creating a true center attacking mid from this, I do think this Evo could be good. This El Shaarawy, if you continue to use him on the wing, he gets the quick step, gets a bit of a shooting boost, like +2. That's not bad. There are some cards that look decent from this, but I think the cards that look best in this aren't getting that big of a statistical upgrade. Like, look at Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, sure, he doesn't need a passing boost. He already has 95, but like 91 shooting, that's probably fine for him. He's getting a huge pace boost and a huge dribbling boost. Like, that feels worth it, and he already has a 5-star weak foot, but he still doesn't have that many regular play styles. I don't know. I think this Evo should have been like half the price, or if it was going to be 150K, it should have given some bigger upgrades. It's not a terrible Evo, but I just don't think it's really worth the price, I guess is what I'm saying there. Now, speaking of evolutions, you maybe are seeing the front page of Futbin, and you're seeing a lot of these 93 rated cards. Guys, 93 rated cards right now are moving crazy on the market because we've already had a 93 rated evolution that was in training camp, right? So some of those players that were 93 rated, like the DeMarco Foot birthday, were very popular for that left back Evo, but that also kind of opened the door to, 93 evolutions are going to be coming soon, and that kind of also confirmed that that would happen probably at the start of Shapeshifters, since that training camp Evo expires on the start of the Shapeshifters next Friday. So a lot of people are kind of bored, and they're like, oh wait, that means 93 Evos are going to come. So what are they doing? Going and investing in 93 rated cards. Look at the state of this Thierry Henry. Just in the past day, he's gone from 800,000 coins to 1.1 million. Take a look at Paolo Maldini, 93 rated card, from 800 coins also to 1.1 million. Guys, there are a lot of really crazy 93 rated cards. Like, sure, the jump every time we go up a rating in evolutions, when we're able to Evo a new rating of cards, brings a whole lot of Evo potential to the table. But with 93, look at some of these names. Flashback Cristiano Ronaldo, Daniel Malin, the Drogba SBC, of course, the Thierry Henry, the Amiga card from Team of the Season in League One, Dino icon, Cafu icon, Hullet, Thunderstruck icon, even some of these hero cards from Foot Birthday like the Abarbo, the Doumbia, the Gervinho, the Darwin Nunez. Also to think about, we should hopefully be coming into 4 playstyle plus Evos in not too long, right? So a card like Wayne Rooney, Immortals, that's going to be on the docket for evolutions pretty soon. This Salma Paralluelo, the Schneider, like looking at a lot of these cards, Endrick. I actually bought Endrick yesterday because EA added his new celebration, which allegedly I've heard he's only done once in real life. Honestly, guys, this is because Lamine Yamal signed with PES. EA has got to make a big deal about Endrick because he's the Real Madrid kind of counterpart that they, can get their rights with. They probably signed him on. I thought they had Lamine Yamal earlier on, but I think Barca pulled him to PSG because Barca and, or not PSG, Barca pulled him to PES because Barca and PES have that kind of deal. But yeah, Endrick's card went up, I think, because of that yesterday, and also because he's a 93 rated card. But again, back to the point, a lot of 93 rated that are out there. If you do want to go ahead and start looking at the market, I've started to club stock a couple of these just because as of right now, think about the icons, the heroes in particular. Those cards don't really ever get re-released. And they could. I mean, we're talking about re-releases today for Ultimate TOTS. EA could surprise us here and put some of these cards back in packs, which makes it maybe a little bit risky. But you guys know, a lot of cards will go up and have been going up. And since people are kind of just waiting now for Ultimate TOTS and for what's coming after with Shapeshifters, some of these cards, if they haven't moved a lot, or maybe if they're down, could end up being good investments or just good short-term trades. Like, look at this Gervinho, 230, he went up to 290, and then he's just probably going to keep trending upwards as we get closer and closer to 93 rated Evos being more common on this game. So just kind of keep an eye on that. Now, the last thing of content yesterday that I wanted to mention is the UWCL winners team of the Arsenal women's squad. And these cards got some nice boosts. Of course, it's just like all the other winners releases. They're only in packs for 2 days. But these cards, while they are very rare, they are dirt cheap. I'm looking at some of these cards with the stats that they have, and I'm saying, these are looking really good for the prices that they are. Beth Mead, right wing, 94 pace, 94 shooting, 96 passing, 95 dribble, finesse, technical, incisive. She has quick step and rapid base, pinged, tiki-taka whip to low driven base, trickster and first touch, and the inside forward plus pluses. She's only 260,000 coins. Some of these cards are looking very good for the price. Not the whole team, but I do think there are some fun ones in here. I don't know how much demand there is for these cards. I haven't really tried trading with any of them. Their prices fluctuate like crazy. They were starting very expensive. They dropped, they've dropped, and now they're actually looking kind of cheap. But again, how much demand is there actually for these cards? I know some people will definitely want to use them, but based on how their prices are looking on the market, that is definitely not everybody. Like this Mariona card is probably one of the more hyped ones from the team. I did end up buying one of her at like 400,000 coins. I could see these going back up a little bit today, as I feel like less and less people are going to be opening packs. But maybe, you know, it's too risky to trade with. I'm not entirely sure. I bought one or two of these. As I said, I wasn't really trading with them. I did buy 2 cards, but I'm probably going to stay away from the rest of them, especially with Rivals rewards. Even if people start saving Rivals rewards for Ultimate Team of the Season, I do think those cards, since they are in packs during that time frame, would actually drop in price. So that's just one thing I wanted to mention about those, because they're really good-looking cards for the price, but again, how much hype do they have? So just be careful trading with those. But if you're chasing those cards right now in packs, I do want to mention the pack weight for those. It's actually worse than the PSG cards, but there is something to kind of mention with this. The pack weight for these cards is going to look worse regardless, because there's less Arsenal women's cards in packs than there were PSG Road to the Finals. There are only 14 of these Arsenal women's cards in packs. There were 16 of the PSG cards. 8.3% for the women's UCL cards. It was 8.7 from the 94 plus duo pack in the store. That was kind of our barometer of what's the pack weight going to be comparing the PSG cards versus the Arsenal women. So the weight is less a little bit for the Arsenal women, but they do have 2 less players in packs, so it's really tough to kind of judge that. They're difficult to pack. That's the bottom line. Now, let's move into Ultimate Team of the Season, and it was these tweets yesterday that really got things stirring for me and for a lot of people, kind of getting us excited for Friday. And it seems like Ultimate TOTS is going to change a little bit this year in the fact that it is a big Ultimate TOTS. Now, that was a little bit expected, I think, because we've had a big team of the season, a lot of players in packs for every single week. We've had the men's league, the main league, the women's league, the main league, and then we've had kind of like a third league, a minor league team of the season, as they've kind of called it. They're continuing with that verbiage, but it sounds like all of those types of players are going to be an Ultimate Team of the Season, and some others. It was this tweet right here from FIFA Trading Romania that really got things moving about Ultimate TOTS. He's saying that it's huge this year with the fire emoji. Most 95, 96, and 97 TOTS cards are in. That's a lot of TOTS cards. He says most. So even if that's like 75%, I mean, even out of the current team that you have in right now, you've got a good chunk of 96s, a good chunk of 95s for both the Saudi League TOTS and the MLS Team of the Season and rest of the world for that matter. I can't believe that it's all 95, 96, and 7s, but if he's saying that most are in and Ultimate TOTS is huge, how many cards are we going to have in packs? That's really what I want to know. Is it only going to be the 4 Playstyle Plus cards as well? I wouldn't think so, because if you talk about that, I believe we have around 40 to 50 4 Playstyle Plus cards in the game, but there's still so many other 95 and 96 rated Team of the Season cards like this Benzema, who only have 3 Playstyle Pluses. And like we were talking about as well previously, EA's got to add in a few cards to kind of make a few of them more packable, right? And to continue to give a little bit of TOTS fodder supply, if you will, to the market. I wouldn't be surprised if there's also some 93 and 4 rated cards included in Ultimate TOTS. That's what he says here too. Some cheap cards are also included. So honestly, if there's just a ton of cards in packs though, with the men's league, the women's leagues, and what they're looking like, it's being called the minor league Team of the Season squad as well. Because if you take a look at some of this pack code, there's some leaks here about the men's/women's TOTS squad. And then if you look at some more, I guess I clicked on the wrong pack there from Foot Scoreboard. You'll see here as well, yesterday there was mentioned a Ultimate TOTS minor player pack. I think that minor squad would be the third or the lower level leagues released each week. Like we had the La Liga, but then we had the Liga Portugal released as well that week. I think they're going to make this Team of the Season Ultimate kind of split up into two different sections. I think they're going to make it split up between the men and the women TOTS squad for the main leagues, and then they're going to have the minor TOTS squad, evident by that specific pack code that just said a TOTS minor squad. But then there's also a Ultimate TOTS Guarantee pack that was in here as well that is just men or women. And you see here again as well, contains one TOTS player item from the Ultimate Men/Women/Minor TOTS squad. So whether it's 2 squads or 3, that's kind of how it's looking for Ultimate Team of the Season. It just sounds like a lot of cards and packs, and that's great. That's great, no matter how you slice it. More cards and packs means more potential packability, and this Team of the Season just needs to end on a good note where pack weight is decent, right? Thinking of a lot of cards and packs at least reminds me a little bit of like the footies, kind of the summertime vibes where there's a lot of cards and packs, and it's fun to open packs because there's just so much that you're seeing. You're getting promo cards and packs randomly like every couple packs, and the weight just seems good because there's so many cards that are in packs. I hope that's how Ultimate Team of the Season is. Not saying that a card like this Lamine Yamal is going to be very packable, but if there's just a ton of cards in packs, that makes the chase and that makes opening packs so much more fun. Now, speaking of that, specials re-released. Honestly, this might be the biggest surprise out of this tweet that he posted yesterday. What does that mean? Specials re-release. I think a lot of us, including myself, can dream for a second and say, could that potentially mean these cards back in packs? That would be incredible. But again, if they're going to do that, you almost feel like they'd have to release the whole entire team. And if they release the whole entire team of the UCL, the Europa League Spurs, the Conference League, Chelsea, and the women's team that is out of, that's a lot of players in packs. That might be too much. They might not be willing to do that. We might not see the re-releases for these cards until like later in the summer. That's just feeling realistic to me. But regardless, specials re-released expected. I'm guessing that's outside of Team of the Season, because if it was regular just Team of the Season cards, that would just be the normal Ultimate TOTS team. So this is the big variable for me. What does that mean? Because that does sound like, you know, a footies and a summertime type thing. Would that, however, kind of go right in line with the Encore player pick that we've had recently? They've given us now the chance to pack old special cards from this Encore player pick 1 of 15 that we do enjoy. I packed some great cards from yesterday. This is the most fun thing for me to craft right now in the menus. Are they also going to put some of the old promo cards in packs to supply them on the market a bit and give us another chance of packing them for Evos or just card collecting in general for future Evos, depending on what the rating is? That's what I'm really curious about with this. So it's this and all the cards and packs that I'm super curious about for sure. Watch out for more leaks about that in the coming days. But this last part here, who do you want to see as an SBC? And this tweet from Foot Sheriff really gets the reels turning. You got a lot of cards and packs. You have the hope to grind and hope to pack a lot of those cards that are in packs if there's a lot of cards, right? Hopefully that means you're packing more promos, you get more fodder. That also would make you think, well, what SBCs are going to be out that I would want to grind? And if they do this like they did last year in FC24 Ultimate TOTS, we could be in for a good week again, man, because there are so many end of an era cards that a lot of us would love to see right now. They're on this page, this prediction. This is not a leak in my opinion, guys. I think the leakers know that this might be happening, or at least they kind of are saying they're knowing what's happening with Ultimate TOTS. Like, you look at FIFA Trading Romania here. He knows what's happening with Ultimate TOTS. Foot Sheriff, he's kind of playing into that hype as well. Comparing last year to this year, it's probably going to be the same, but it just hasn't been said yet that Modric or KDB or Thomas Muller or Mats Hummels is getting an end of an era card. But that's the way that it's looking, and that could really bring some very needed SBCs to this game. Of course, it is those names. You got some other names in here. He's got Vertonghen, Lucas Vasquez. He's got an Evans card in there. There's so many different options they could release for end of an eras and for flashbacks. That's what made Ultimate TOTS last year pretty interesting. Remember this Felipe Anderson? I remember doing the Thiago Silva like first day, insta completing him. The Muniain card, a lot of people did. The Sunil Shetty card was an incredible end of an era item, and Marco Reus's end of an era was great. Martial was a bit overpriced, but a lot of people ended up doing that SBC. There's just so much potential with end of an era cards, and I really, really hope that this does come true. So watch out for the leaks. And again, this is one of the reasons why right now for me, I'm starting to save up some packs. I've kind of just made that decision right before recording this video and talking about it with you guys. I've got some gold players packs here and some 77 times 5s, but the 85 times 5s, the combos, the 83 times 14s, and maybe not the 86 plus picks, but I'm just going to start saving some packs for what is to come with Ultimate Team of the Season. And maybe included in that pack save, I will maybe try to save up a set of the premium MLS Saudi League Serie A and League One packs, because that would potentially give you a shot at 4 different leagues of Team of the Seasons. And if they're re-releasing other cards, maybe other specials, that's kind of a really interesting pack. Even though we've said it's not good value, I might just try to save a set of like 20 to 30 of these, since it's so easy to just craft up gold commons and rares right now and get a whole set of those. I might do that. I might. Maybe that's something worth mentioning as well, so I figured I'd say it. But that's kind of what we're looking at and hoping for with Ultimate TOTS. So we're looking for more confirmed news from the leakers here. But as we get into Wednesday today, Thursday, tomorrow, I think we're going to start getting some of that. So keep your eyes peeled, as we do say often, for leaks around end of an eras and what's going to be in packs for Ultimate TOTS. Last thing I want to talk about, this is unrelated to Ultimate TOTS, but it is a leak kind of about content going forward. I want to quick take a look here at this tweet from Donk. This is just something to remember. You see I have it bookmarked for the future. New promos coming. This is probably after Shapeshifter. So we're talking late June into July during the Club World Cup, which there's no mention of that here, and into like the silly season summertime, almost footies time on this game. A Women's Euro Path to Glory, Gloves to Goal icon, and Greats of the Game. If you remember Greats of the Game, that ran last year during the Men's Euros. Those were incredible cards. Live icons upgrading. That was so fun. That was great stuff. But they're coming back this year. They're definitely going to have to be a little bit different. But we'll see. The Women's Euro Path to Glory could be decent. Gloves to Gold. That sounds like a goalkeeper promo. Maybe not. I don't know. So those are the promo leaks that we have kind of for later on in the summer right now. Summer Heat, question mark. Could we have that promo back? That would be a really fun one that I think a lot of people would really enjoy. Just that name brings back so many memories. But anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves with that. Let's bring it back to today's content on Wednesday. What are we looking forward to today? Of course, it's just another day until Ultimate TOTS gets here. 2 more days from now. But today on Wednesday has always been, throughout all of the Team of the Season weeks that we've had, the Guaranteed TOTS Pack Day. And we've had 2 Guaranteed TOTS Packs each week for the last number of weeks. This week, though, according to the pack code that I just went and looked back through, I was looking for an MLS and a Saudi League Guaranteed. There was none of that in there. Only thing I found was a double, so MLS and Saudi combined guaranteed pack, but this almost kind of sounds like it would be one of those weekend league reward packs that's out there. So watch the pack code today, unless there's new packs added to the code that would say something like a rest of the world guaranteed or a separate MLS and Saudi League guarantee. There's no way they're just going to give us a MLS/Saudi League guaranteed pack and say, oh yeah, they're good, right? I hope not. I hope there is some other sort of pack coming today. But with both of these expiring, watch out for a guaranteed TOTS pack today. And speaking of Team of the Season cards, our last TOTS player SBC released as a part of this week could be today. We have one last MLS player SBC that is leaked. Watch out for that one. Or we could finally have the Van Persie card. There's no official leaks for that yet, but those are kind of the 2 SBC players that we are still waiting on in this game at the moment. And that Evo leak that we have right now as well isn't a very massive one, but I think it's worth mentioning. It's got to be a free Evo, guys, because it's max 91 rated. Max 91 CDM Evolution is set to come. It gives intercept, blocked, and ping pass, 5-star weak foot, deep line playmaker plus, max 91. That's what we've noticed recently, is that a lot of the free Evos are max 92, but a lot of the free Evos are max 91, and the paid ones are max 92. So that's why my guess here is this would be a free Evo, but this may not even be today. It could be on Thursday. Also, interesting to note here that Foot Police says, sorry to disappoint the Footbin popular page enthusiast, but the next evolution is not 93 rated. I still do believe we are waiting until Shapeshifters to see that, because once again, that was when this first Shapeshifter evolution would expire. And see, again, we've already had our first max 93 Evo. It's just a training camp one, so it's not one that necessarily people are getting done straight away, going and buying a card off the market to play the games like a regular Evo and getting it done. Now, there is an Evo that is expiring today. It is called Take a Step Back. If you want to actually maybe get a head start on Shapeshifters content, this could be an Evo that ends up creating a really crazy shapeshifter for you if you're going to take a midfielder and put them back at center back. I packed this Frankie de Jong yesterday from a Encore 1 of 15 pick. He goes to a 94 rated card, so maybe that's not the best one to do, but if there's a little Evo combination you wanted to do here, and maybe like this Taram, make him a center back, 93 rated, that's the sort of thing you could be looking for with that Take a Step Back Evo. If there's nobody else that you're really interested in putting into it, that could be interesting because it does give the extra center back position there. So that's kind of the current situation of what we'd expect for content today. Market-wise today, I'm doing something a little risky. I've picked up some 93 rated Evo cards like I mentioned. I picked up a couple of Ian Wrights because this is a very usable Ian Wright card, and I could just see this guy going up 100K if he ever fits an Evo in the next 2 weeks. So that's kind of like put it on my transfer list and stock it. Same thing with the Abarbo, the Doumbia, the Gervinho. I really love those cards because they are the Streets Won't Forget. Remember, those cards got released and given out. These are like the best versions, the 5/5 ones, and they've had good demand all year long. But I also picked up some Benzemas because remember my Luis Suarez trade that we did earlier in the week. Today on Wednesday could be a day where a couple of the TOTS cards from the Saudi and MLS do have a bit of a rise after the guaranteed SBC releases. I know it's risky. I'm talking about buying a 96 rated TOTS card on a day where we're talking about selling 96 rated TOTS cards because they could get re-released in Ultimate TOTS. So it feels a little bit risky right now as I'm doing this, but I think I'm just going to send it at least a little bit here. This Luis Suarez was still 1.4 mil yesterday, and he's 1.2 right now. There's still people that are going to be getting their Rivals points today, looking at myself and saying that, trying to get up a division before the Rivals reset, which is actually kind of a big deal because you get kicked back when a new season comes out. So I think there is going to be demand for gameplay on this game today, but still I think we need to be careful. I mean, take a look at Lamine Yamal. He is even going lower. He was 3.5 yesterday. Now he's 3.2 mil. You're still seeing, and I think you will see today still, some prices dropping on the market from those expensive TOTS players that people are expecting to get re-released. So risky trade there. I would not recommend following with that one unless you find a player that you like that you maybe want to pick up on. So Benzema for 380. I'm just going to buy it. Hopefully goes back up to 430 to 440 today. We'll make a solid 20, 30K card and we'll be happy with that one. But that's kind of what we're looking forward to now. One more day until Ultimate Team of the season. Make sure you're getting those Rivals rewards done today. Maybe you start saving packs. Let me know in the comments if you're like, Nate, that sounds good enough to me to start saving packs, or if you're like, nah, I'm just gonna rip and see what happens and at least give myself a chance at the Messi and Ronaldo. So let me know in the comments how you're feeling about that. I will see you guys in the stream today here on the YouTube channel or on the Twitch channel as well. If you want to check us out there, those links are down below in the description. I will see you guys later in the stream today. Have a great Wednesday. It's been Nate, TheFutAccountant. Catch you guys later. Peace out.